Gen Trader, it is Thursday morning. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, and at natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy or selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin daily and your weekly chart. Let me just pick that up a little bit there for you. Nice. Okay, so you can see here how we had this basically three tops, but however, we're going high, higher high, and higher high situation. And right now we have a low, higher low, and a higher low situation. So that's always a good sign. Now, again, the question is, will it hold? So what we're looking for on the downside here, we're looking to yesterday's low. That's at 110,410 level. And then we're looking for today's low at 109,850 level. Then we come right down to the bottom of this candle here, 109,270. And then your big retest down here at 108,555. Now, if we lose that, then this is going to be the key level. Going to be right here is 107,790 because that's the lowest of this pattern situation. Now, if we start losing that, then that's not going to be a good thing, okay? Then when we come to the top of that candle, 106,630 level, and then we come to the bottom of this candle here, you're looking at 105,440 level. Then we can come all the way down to this 103,5556, and then we have this 50-day here on the weekly chart at 102,358. So those are your downside targets, but that's only if you lose this 108,555 level and this key level right here, 107,790. Now on the upside, we're looking at today's high, 112,095. But really what you're looking for, your upside target is going to be this 113,409 level. We get above that, then your next big target is going to be right here, 115,551. Okay, and then we have your 21 day sitting right there at 116,537, and then we have your 8-day right above it at 116,968. Now, you can see here how this 8-day is just rolling over. So if this crosses over that 21-day and that 50-day, as this moves up, that's going to be very, very strong resistance, as we just looked at the past, and you can see how strong that resistance is until you get back above that 8 simple moving average, okay? Now, we had a big sell-off, big liquidation going on in Bitcoin, but again, look for opportunity. That's the key, is opportunity. Now, sitting at 42, that's an overbought, oversold. The green is over your red, so you can see where that green crossed over, and that shows momentum to the downside, which is, obviously pretty obvious, okay? So, right now, what we're really watching is we watch today's low, that 109,850 level, and then we're going to be watching that 100-day at that 113,409, and then we can go to the top of yesterday's candle, 114,40 level, okay? So that's what we're looking there on the upside. So again, if this pattern holds with this low, and higher low situation, this could be a really good buying opportunity to take it higher, okay? Now, today's Thursday. By Friday, we got to try to reclaim this 21-day. That's going to be very, very key at 112,904. Now, we didn't reclaim it there. Then we had that nice big green candle and shot it right on up. So again, it's not everything, but we like to reclaim that 112,904 and that 114,53. Now you can see here how this 8-day is rolling over, but it has not crossed that 21-day as of yet. Okay, but when it does cross, this is what happened. This is the reaction you get in the price of the old commodity. Okay, now we're looking here. 52, that's an overbought, oversold. The green is below your red here, shows momentum there to the downside, which obviously we have. So again, we got to be just a little bit patient with this. So if you want to trade this, IBIT for the long, BITI for the short, okay? Now, leverage, what I trade is the leverage ETF, which is BITX, and that works out very good, but that's only on the long side. All right, let's take a look here now at gold and at silver. All right, here we have gold, absolute parabolic. Okay, so we look at this chart here, take it right on out here. This is what I always say. Okay, so we had that really, really nice run up for 25.41. We ran all the way up here to the top of this at 34.42. Then we consolidated. But always look at when you consolidate, you get this sideways action, especially this action here where we're putting in these higher low kind of a situation. Okay, and you consolidate, and that it basically is building energy. When it goes, it just rockets right up. But now look at here. This is absolute moonshot. The same way, look at, you're at 84, okay? And look at this MACD. You're way, way beyond out of control here, okay? So again, when this does come off, it's going to come off extremely hard. So what you have to do is you just have to ride this wave. Now, again, we are 1, 2, 3, 4 days here out of that price channel. Look at here. We are 3 and then 1 down, 3 and then 1 down. Okay, we had 2 and then 1 down. Okay, then we had 3 and then back down. So again, we have a parabolic run here. So if you're holding the GLD, just use some stop losses or however you're trading gold. Now, 42.59, that's obviously the high. So we're now in our next number, obviously looking at 4,300. But I think realistically, I think this is going to go to 4,500 is what I think we're going to be looking for here over time. Now, pullback. We want to watch today's low here. You're looking at that 42.14 level. Then we'll come top of this candle at that 41.90. Then we'll come to the bottom there at 41.57. And then we can come right down here to this 41.08. That is your 8-day. But as long as that price is holding that 8-day, okay, this is going to be sideways to up action. You can see just a parabolic move. But just be, when you see everything on this order like that, on the upside here, just way overbought condition. Just be very careful. For me, I just trade this daily, and I'm out daily. Okay, yeah, did I miss a little bit on the bottom, miss a little bit on the top? Absolutely. But to me, it doesn't make any difference. All I'm looking for is that meet in the middle. I'm not a big gold or a silver trader. I always look at these two as like a fear factor, and there's a lot of fear going on right now in the markets. You got a government, U.S. government here that is shut down. We still got that war going on between Ukraine and Russia kind of a situation. And then you have all the tariffs. Okay, so, you know, you add that all together, you got like a fear factor situation, and that's why gold, I believe, is ripping up higher. Now, silver, well, you can see silver, we topped out today at 52.89, and then we came all the way down. Now, you have to close back above this 52.63, okay? That was yesterday's high. So we really want to close back above that 52.63. Then we had the 52.89, and then we have that 53 level. I really think that this is going to be heading towards that 55 mark here over time. If it keeps right on running up, the same way with this, it keeps on running up, I think you're looking for that 4,500 mark kind of a situation. Now, again, it can overshoot it, it can undershoot it, but that's your big target kind of situation. So right now, what you do is you're watching that 52.63 on a closing basis. If we kind of lose that situation, we come down here to today's low at that 51.19. We have right there at that 50.89. Come to the bottom of that candle at 50.31, and then we're looking for that 8-day at that 49.64 level. Okay, but again, this is the same thing as long as we're above that 8-day, sideways to up action, but just parabolic situation going on here. Let's just see. Okay, we'll just take that all the way across, and you can see how this just an absolute parabolic, same way with the gold, all the way on up. Okay, all right, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. All right, here we have crude oil on a daily and your weekly chart. Okay, so I want to show you weekly here for a while, see how you can check this out. Now, when we look at this weekly, we look at this chart here, how we got to that 130 level, just have an absolute spike, and then we double top, came right on down. Now, when you look at this whole chart right here on the weekly, see how we have this high, lower high, lower high, lower high, descending channel going on down, okay? So it does like to rally up, but then again, it just doesn't really hit it and comes right on down. Okay, so what we're really looking for here is we're breaking down here through the situation, got as low as that 57.68. You can come down here to the bottom of that candle at that 56.39, but this is what we're looking for is that 55.12 there in the absolute long run. Now, again, if we start losing that here, this is why I wanted to show you, there is support here, don't get me wrong, there is support all the way down here. You got in the 53 levels there, okay, you're looking at that 47 level. Okay, we'll look at the top of this candle, looking at that 43 level, but then we have a big retest down here at 33.64 level. Now, just read an interesting article on how it's the oil's an absolute glut. It's going to be a big glut for 2026. Okay, so again, that will stop a lot of these energy companies from drilling if you have that much of glut, because I got to figure OPEC is just dumping the oil on the market like you just can't believe. And again, that could come right down. I'm not saying it's going down to 33s, but I really believe that we're going to test that 55.12 level. Okay, so this is what we got. Okay, we got this. Basically, we had this double top situation. Came right on down, rallied up here, but you notice it couldn't get through that 21 day. Okay, so we had the tweezer top, came right on down situation. Now we hit this low of 57.68. Now, you can see how this is just stair-stepping down. Okay, Steve, just stair-stepping down. Now, what you really want to watch is that 57.68. That's going to be very crucial. On a closing basis, we have to close basically above that. That's going to be key. If not, what we do is we just follow these candles right on down. So your next level there, you're going to be 57.03 level. Okay, then we'll come right down there. You're looking at that 56.39. And then we have this 55.30, and then your big retest down there at 55.12. Now, you can see here, we look at these simple moving averages, okay? It's an absolute waterfall. The 8-day, 21-day, 50-day, 100-day, and even that 200-day now is rolling over pretty hard. So if this rallies up, you can probably hit that 59.96 level. That's going to be key. But then again, then the next level, if you can get through that, then we look to the bottom of this candle right there. You're looking at that 60.40 level. Okay, that's what we're looking at. And then we're going to be looking right here at this level here, that 61.41, and then we have your 21-day at 61.76, which obviously you can see in the past has been very, very strong. Then we have your 50-day, your 100 SMA here, and then we have the 200-day. But right now we are downtrending here off of this double top situation. So again, just keep that in mind. So I am long the SCO, okay, which is the short for crude. And then I just scalp the UCO. So if we get any kind of a juice going on up here, say to that 8-day, I'll just take a scalp, but I'll leave the SCO on. Okay, because this time of the year, I just don't see where you're going to start breaking up. Now, again, anything can happen. You get a war breakout or any kind of a situation, any kind of disruption. Yes, it can rally right on up. There's no question about it. But if we look at the overall chart, this is absolutely downtrending situation. So what you really want to watch today is that 57.68. If you lose that, it's going to be that 57 mark is what we're going to be going through, that 57.03. Just call it 57. That's going to be your next target. And then we have that 56.39. The upside, all you got to do is really watch that 59 level. That's going to be very, very crucial on a closing basis. We have to get back above that. If not, we have that catch-all, which works both directions. That's 61.76. But I say just take a look at here on this weekly chart where you can see this descending situation going on here. And if we start losing that key level, that 55.12, we got a big tumble job all the way down. Possibly you could go much, much lower. All right, let's take a look here now at natural gas. All right, here we have natural gas going on here today. EIA port usually is on Thursdays at 10:30, but with the government down, who knows? Okay, so here we go. Came right on down yesterday, closed down, went below that 50-day simple moving average, and now we're sitting right above that kind of thing. So got to remember, watch that candle. Okay, so yesterday's low was 2.96. Okay, so when we were up in this area, I said if this does sell down, you always want to watch that gap. Okay, that 3.12, and you want to watch that fill at 296. And then where did it go yesterday? Right down to 2.96, and now we filled this gap, which is very, very nice. Now, it doesn't always have to be filled, but usually what it is, once it starts breaking that level and it starts creeping in, that's usually where the target is, and that's usually where we went there, okay? So now, where we ought to really is hold that upside at 302. If not, we'll look through that 296, and then we'll come down to the top of that candle at 291 level. Then we have 287, then we have 284, and then we have 281, and then there's your big retest at 277 level. Now, obviously, if we crack that, then this gap was never filled. So we're going to be looking for the top of that candle at 274. Then we have 268, 265, and then 262. That is your downside if that 50-day is lost on a closing basis. Okay, so now on the upside, well, you can see here it's working like a circus monkey. 306, that's what you're going to list. Next level there going is 310. Okay, and then we'll be looking for that 21-day at 315. We get above that, we look for that 8-day at 317, and then right above that, we have the 100-day at 3.23. Okay, now we get above that, we come down to the bottom of this candle at 3.31, and then we have right there at 3.39, and then we're looking for that 347, your 200-day. Then we'll come to the top of that candle, 355, then 358 level. Okay, so that is your upside. Now, the 8-day you can see is rolling over. You're ready to cross the 100-day. Is looking across that 21-day. That's going to become very, very strong resistance kind of situation. Now, if we start getting some really nasty weather, this could take this right up here very nicely. Now, if you look at a seasonality chart, okay, natural gas really is starting to be in play here until about the end of November kind of situation. Then the futures kick in, and then it wants to kind of sell right on off there. But let's just see how kind of weather we have. And let's just see a kind of disruption if there's anything like in the natural gas. Now, if you're looking here, 44, that's not overbought, oversold. The green is over your red because obviously we had this sell down off of this double top situation. Okay, so for today, this is what we're watching is that 50-day on the downside, that 302, and then yesterday's candle, that low at that 296. Okay, upside, very easy. Everything laying right out for you. 315, that's your big target. The 8-day, 317. The 100-day, 323, and then your 200-day at 3.47. Okay, so let's just see how this is shake out. Easy way I trade this, UNG for the long, KLD for the short. Been working out very, very nicely. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading. We'll take a look here at some stocks. Right now, the NASDAQ futures are up $1.26. And there's a lot of stuff that's actually working pretty nice here. Palantir is working nice. NVIDIA is working good. My TQQs is working good. Microsoft, all the tech sector still does. They don't want to give up the ghost on that. That looks like that's going to be working out here pretty nice. All right, trade what's in front of you. Not what you want.